Welcome back to Channel 9 Live here at MIX10. I'm John Papa. I'll be hosting the show right now. We've got some great guests from the Seesmic team. If you guys would introduce yourselves to the audience real quick.
Sure. Thanks for having us, John, and all the team here. My name is Loic. I'm the founder of Seesmic, and the problem we solve is to have all your social networks into one place. So we help you share with your friends to all the most popular social networks and bring you back all your comments. And I'll let you guys introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Marco Kaiser. I'm the product manager and lead for our desktop clients, and especially for the Seesmic desktop platform, which we showed first today in the keynote from Scott Guthrie.
And I'm Matthew, and I'm a product manager for all the mobile products of Seesmic. And we presented the first preview of Seesmic for Windows Phone 7 this morning at the keynote.
Excellent, excellent. And just to remind everybody out there in the audience that this is 100% live, unscripted, on a slight delay. We'd like to get any of your questions through Twitter, so if you get on Twitter real quick, you can send your questions to @Channel9Live, and we'll read your questions on air, and we'll hopefully get you some good answers. So, guys, tell me a little bit about what Seesmic does. I know you've got some different products. What are the products that you offer?
Yeah, we want to, again, help you share and receive all the information from social networks, from most social networks, and today we announced with the platform that you can finally do it on any service or any social network, because we have a plugin architecture that Marco will show, which lets you, for example, if you're German, maybe you like Zing, which is the equivalent of LinkedIn, better than LinkedIn,
right?
Because it's German, right? And like we can't really do this because we have a small team, so we can't add everything. And here they can just create a plugin. Same around Twitter. If you think about all the ecosystem, there are thousands of services. For example, how many new followers did you get today? Some people created services to show you how many less followers you got today, right? And link to what tweet and graphics. And so you can't, as a platform, as a company like us, create everything. And now, for the first time on the market, there is a real platform. So we do this on desktop, we do this on mobile. We have a few mobile clients, and we introduced the Windows Phone 1 today, and we also do it on the web. So we want to be everywhere you are in terms of social networking, and also everywhere you are in terms of devices. So it's a big challenge.
So this is a great aspect. You've got a really nice application. I know I've used the Seesmic Windows version. We've got the desktop that you introduced now, and the Windows Phone version. So the difference with your application that I'm looking at versus the other ones that have been out there is other applications you see, I can do this, I can do that, but now how do I link in other projects? Facebook, LinkedIn, as you mentioned, or Zing. So you're now saying, if I'm hearing you correctly, you can link in all these other applications through plugins through other companies.
Yeah, Marco, you want to explain?
Yes. So as Loic already said, we, from users as well as from partners or other services, we got constantly requests of saying, hey, we want to be integrated in your products, or I want to use those services in your products.
Every day.
Every day, basically. And for us as a team, we always try to catch up with the most requested services and the most requested features. But it's just impossible for us to do what everyone wants. So we made the decision of saying, okay, if we have a platform that allows people, services, developers to create their own plugins that extend the functionality of the client, that's great. That solves our problem, so we can focus more on the core functionality of the client, improve the UI, the UX, and the stability and everything in the client, and focus on the most requested services, which we will ship as the default implementation.
You want to show it?
Yes.
Go to the settings?
Yeah.
And while you're setting it up real quick, just want to remind everybody, if you've got any questions for Twitter, please send them off to @Channel9Live. And it looks like we have some coming in, which we can take in a moment.
So see, this is the plugin screen. So we have integrated Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, obviously, and also a few others like Tweet Photo, which lets you post photos, and Bing Maps will show that. But what's great is that even Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn are plugins, right? So if you don't like our integration of Twitter, you can just rebuild your own, no problem. Like the core doesn't know Twitter, right? And so that's very cool, because there is always something that people want to change or do differently.
So not only can you allow other plugins in here, you've already got, it looks like, a good list already to start with.
Oh, of course,
Yes.
we want to be already very comprehensive, but we don't want to build all the plugins. For example, we had a debate with Marco that Marco doesn't want me to tell here, obviously, but like I like YouTube a lot, and I want a YouTube column and plugin in there, and Marco said no, you need to let people build that. And
Well, we can duke it out at the end of the show if that gets a little more enthusiasm.
they should go to platform.seesmic.com. If you're interested in doing plugins, and you can get the SDK very soon in there.
Excellent. Well, guys, you have time to take a question real quick. It looks like we've got one from Tom Warren on Twitter. This one's for Loic. Will Seesmic be available at Windows Phone 7 launch?
Yes. Yes, we will.
Excellent.
We're
Excellent.
excited.
Is there going to be any plugins that you guys are planning that haven't been announced yet, or?
No plugins on the phone, but all the features that we are going to introduce in the desktop application, we'll be able to port them on the phone app because it's the same code base. So we're going to be able to reuse the code on the phone.
Something important here to say that since we use Silverlight 4, it's if you write a plugin, it will go on Windows, obviously, but also on Mac, which I showed this morning, and it's nice to be able to address those users as well, and also on the phone for some of them, which we will port as well.
So that's a great lead-in. So you guys had a part in the keynote today that Scott Guthrie presented. Can you tell us what you displayed?
Yeah, we showed. We showed this. We showed the services. Maybe we can show a few of them, like the big one.
Yeah, sure. So what we have here is the Seesmic desktop, the new Seesmic desktop client based on the Silverlight version, which some plugins already loaded. As you can see, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, which have accounts added, as you can see in the sidebar. Over here, if I find my mouse, over here.
This is all Silverlight, right?
This is all Silverlight. This is a Silverlight out-of-browser application, Silverlight 4, based on the RC code right now. And we have as Loic said, we have a Bing Maps plugin, for example, in here, which just like analyzes all tweets that are coming in and checks if there's geolocation, as Twitter has that as a core feature now. If there's geolocation attached, and if it finds something, resolves the location into an address. It displays that below the tweet, as you can see on the first one here on the right-hand side.
Here is location, right?
Great, yeah, show us how this
So
works.
if I click on that, and
address.
if I click on that, I can even get like a Silverlight control with a map, which is fully interactive. So I can zoom in here, I can pan around, whatever.
It's not an image, it's a Silverlight.
Right.
So if I click on my wife's Twitter account, I can find out where she is?
Yes.
If she lets you
If
do
she
that,
lets you do that and send her
Excellent.
location,
She's here
yes,
at
you
MIX,
can.
at least you should be.
But it also works the other way around. So
that could be
yeah.
dangerous.
So that is just like, and one other feature is here, as this could be a plugin that anyone could write. This one is one we provided, but anyone could come up with such a plugin. It also has links below here which break out and go to the Bing Maps website. So every plugin developer can kind of like plug in its own site or its own service here.
So for example, if you talk about a product and you have say an Amazon link in there, there are many tweets with commerce information. You could build the same plugin that will create a link to Amazon if you're Amazon, or if you're just a reseller, you could build a shop in a plugin. So imagine like I don't know, Dell is actually doing a lot of deals selling machines on the internet, right, on Twitter, and so you could have a deals timeline and buy right there. You could even create a game in there, right?
Of course. I mean, a plugin could just get a column and do whatever it wants to do with Silverlight in there.
And that's an interesting point because you see a lot of the Facebook games become really popular. This way, the games could actually be popular for your application through a plugin.
Yep.
That'd be excellent. So getting into it, we talked about this was Silverlight out-of-browser application. It's interesting to see that because in the past we haven't seen a lot of Silverlight Twitter applications. What made you go towards Silverlight here? I assume the out-of-browser feature was the big
plugins.
Yes.
The big thing for us was plugins. We simply could not, build it this way on our platforms.
Yeah. So Silverlight really offered us like the power of the platform has the power to just give us the plugin infrastructure that we needed, and so that was for us an obvious move. And as Silverlight 4 with the out-of-browser capabilities were just so good that we were just like able to use that and build the plugin platform like in a very short time based on that.
Right, and you can just go and click on it, get a nice install experience, and you're all set to go.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Now, is this available today to try it, or is this available at the RTW?
So yeah, we're aiming at the RTW, or so the general launch of Silverlight 4. That's what we're aiming at for the general release for everyone. We'll definitely make this available to developers before, so publish the development SDK and the documentation.
Platform.seesmic.com.
Right, go to platform.seesmic.com.
Great.
and sign up with your email address there, and we'll let you know as soon as we have
You can
available.
be in our launch, and we'd love to have, we have actually some information we've not published, and then I let you know.
Yes.
But we had, during the 6 minutes keynote this morning, we had 200 developers signing up to start, building
new plugins.
200, plugins we hope, but if only a third of that do plugins, will be great for us. So
that'd be great.
Very exciting.
So anybody can sign up to write a plugin with you guys through your site.
Yeah, to get the SDK and start working with us. Yeah.
Sweet. So yes, and I wanted to remind, we've got some questions from Twitter. If anybody would like to add any more questions, go to @channel9live. So we've got a couple questions here. One of them, I'm glad, a buddy of mine, Steve Strong, has asked, are you using MEF for your pluggability?
Yes. So MEF, as it's become part of the Silverlight 4 main framework now, we're using MEF as the foundation for doing our plugins. So they are composed automatically. So MEF, Managed Extensibility Framework, the new framework that was introduced in Silverlight 4 for doing such stuff.
And that's all part of .NET.
That's part of .NET too, right? So we're completely building on that, and it's been great for us to use because it's like so easy to write plugins with that and compose the application.
Excellent. So we got a question here for Loic from Oregon Tony. Loic, how far are you running these days?
That's right.
I thought he was running Silverlight or something. Running Silverlight a lot. I just ran, hi Tony. I just ran a marathon last Sunday. So
excellent.
that's 26.2 miles.
I was wondering what you were running from.
That's why I'm tan, because I went 4 hours.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess we need a running plugin in there. I quoted that this morning, there is a scale that you step up on, and it tells you if you get fat or you lose weight for fitness. And that can tweet your weight, which is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
I would love some crazy plugins like this to start happening.
I don't need a scale to tell me that I'm
No,
fat.
you don't.
That's
why I'm running, though.
That's why I have mirrors in my house. Yes, excellent. So we have another question from Twitter from Jamie Riddell. So we have a plugins for Seesmic. Should we expect a plugin store for Seesmic?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Explain.
Yeah, definitely. So we definitely want to make it easy for users to discover new plugins, to find out about new plugins. Definitely via our website, but we also think about like making that available directly from within the client. So like promoting plugins there, or like discovering new plugins that you might find interesting.
And just can you show how you change the background, because we went through it? But even
that's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, even that is customizable. So see, you go here, you can change the UI theme background. But if you think about it, this is kind of cool for the users. But if you're a brand, if you are Flixster, you might want a Flixster background, and then all the Flixster services. I want to see all the movie information. So that's really exciting as well.
So the background doesn't have to just be a static image either.
No,
You
exactly.
can write a plugin to do what you want with it.
Everything here is plugin driven. You can change. Can you click on the composer? You can change here when you post. Your plugin will show as a service here where to post. So if you like status.net more than Twitter, because it's more like private, or it's open source, whatever, you can add it here. And then we have link, image, and geolocation. This is all plugin driven as well. And also the tabs here, you can control tabs and create an entire tab. So think more like business application. If you wanted to create, like only statistical information about how your links are doing, something really professional, you could also do that and get, rid of anything funny in there and only the serious stuff.
Yeah, you could make this more business driven for your application instead of just making a complete social network. Excellent, excellent. So we do have some other questions up on Twitter, and again, if you have any more, you can catch us at @Channel9Live, @Channel9Live. We got another one from Steve Strong. How did you get around the cross-domain issues with Silverlight?
Well, luckily, as we're running out of browser in Silverlight 4 and as on Elevated Trust, it's not an issue, so we can just like connect to any domain that we want to.
And that's one of the new features that was announced today. If you go up on the website, it's a Channel9 website actually, we've got a learning center with a white paper that I wrote that's tells all about the out-of-browser features.
Right.
And one of those great ones, probably my favorite new out-of-browser feature actually, that and signing.
Yeah, and you really have like great network capabilities, even like opening sockets. So you are not like limited to HTTP services or HTTP-based services, which have like an API in the Twitter style. You can even do something like a chat client or whatever, which has like a permanent connection open. So that's all doable.
So
a chat client would be cool.
A chat client would be
Can someone
very cool.
build that? chat
Yeah,
client.
there's a plugin option right here. Loic has asked for a chat client, so
Yeah, I mean, chat and social network go well together.
that would be great to be able to tweet somebody and then to have a direct connection open up to them.
Well, you can build Facebook chat. It's open now.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And just to explain a little bit, what was the problem, just so everyone understands, with why was cross-domain issues an issue before Silverlight 4 out of browser?
It wasn't for us, but I think it's for Silverlight applications running in the browser. You are limited to connecting to the server that the application was launched from.
Right.
So with that, you couldn't connect to Twitter, for example, if you host the application on your own server. And out of browser allows you to like connect to any servers outside, even if it's not on your own domain that you launched the application from.
Great, yeah, that's excellent. And again, to remind everybody from Twitter, the @Channel9Live, and we've got an audience here, live audience, a good 20 people here. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands and we can get some questions directed to the team.
Yeah, we have
that
one
gentleman
here.
back here. Step right up. We have Elvis running around with the microphone.
Hi guys.
And the microphone's not on.
Try again.
Okay. Hi. Jamie Riddell, thanks for answering the question already. I think a question may be, all the plugins you're talking about now for Silverlight, is that already running with your current Windows implementations, or is this all brand new?
This is based on Silverlight. This is not running with the Seesmic for Windows native application currently, because it's just a different base technology that we're using. So no, this is for the Seesmic desktop client, which is based on Silverlight.
So
Seesmic Silverlight is an evolution of Seesmic for Windows, so it's replacing it basically.
So we should see some of this stuff coming onto the Windows desktop in the near future?
Yep.
Awesome.
In the next 4.0 is launching in April, and before that we will ship developer releases to platform.seesmic.com so that you can get early previews and start building on it if you like. And then it will replace Seesmic for Windows because we're cross-platform. We're super happy about the performance with Silverlight, so there's no reason to have both.
Cool. Thank you.
So and thank you for the question. That's actually a really good point. So you said you're replacing Seesmic for Windows with Seesmic Desktop. So basically, the Silverlight application is going to work cross-browser. That implies to me that there was nothing that you couldn't do, that you wanted to do with this application then.
No, we can.
Yeah, that's right. So everything we wanted to do, we can do with the Silverlight platform now.
Right.
And it also gives us the cross-platform capabilities of also running the exact same application on a Macintosh computer. So there was no code changes needed to make that happen. It's just like running on both operating systems just fine.
That's
and we could
excellent.
even, as Loic said, it was an evolution. So we reused most of the code that we already had for the WPF-based version and just adapted it to the Silverlight code
And
base.
it looks like you've used the same UI elements.
Right.
I mean, it looks the same.
Yeah, and we got like much love for the UI already for the Seesmic for Windows application.
Right.
So there was no need to actually replace that.
And
or
that
change
the
that.
Seesmic for Windows is written with WPF?
That is based
correct?
on WPF, right?
It's the same kind of XAML, basically.
Right.
Excellent. So, do we have any other questions in the audience? I saw a hand.
Hi, I hear you talking about different types of plugins, or they take different forms in the UI. So there's the Bing Maps plugin, which is attached to a specific tweet. And then I hear you mention you can add a tab, you can do anything. So are these just different types of plugins that you would write, and they would basically slot in different spots of the UI?
Yes. So we just offer different extension hooks, as I call them, which a plugin can use to extend the functionality. So you can have one plugin which uses different hooks at the same time. But we just try to make that like very fine-grained and allow plugins to really provide very small bits of functionality.
Like a URL shortener, for
like
example?
a URL shortener, like a filter that searches for geolocation, and you can compose your plugin yourself by just using different hooks.
For example, you could do a plugin for search, for filtering tweets. Like some people don't want to hear about, I don't know, a conference going on, not MIX, of course, but
Of course
another
not. Of
conference.
course not.
You could write a little plugin saying, filter me all those tweets from anywhere in the app. Easy. Like I could do that myself.
Yes.
No.
So a follow-up question to that is, so I have an idea of what's possible, which elements of the UI are fixed?
So fixed is basically the UI structure. So we have columns, we have the spaces, we have the composer. So, and we give you basically, as a plugin, we give you containers where you can put your own content in. Like, for example, as I showed the Bing Maps control. So we just give you a container that is attached to a timeline item. And if you provide us content for that, and we'll display it in there. The same is with the column. So we give you a column, you give us content to display in the column, and so on. So we try to keep like the user experience and the user interface consistent, and allow you to just like extend in defined spots.
So to follow on that question from the gentleman, it sounds like since you're using MEF to do that, basically you must there must be some documentation where you tell the developers to go out there and use this interface, export this interface using MEF, and then those plugins will show up in the certain areas.
Exactly. So that's what we plan to launch in a very few weeks. The developer SDK, including the documentation, so everyone can start building plugins, and obviously also a preview of the application, so you can run it actually. So that will be available in a very few weeks.
And we'll be listening, like if we have, if you have needs, and we can't wait for your ideas of plugins that we have not built in the platform.
Exactly.
We will make it evolve. We want to concentrate on the platform.
So there's an opportunity for feedback as well.
Of course.
Right.
We're very eager to hear from developers actually what they need. So we'll give our first version to developers to play with, and we're eager to hear what else they came up with for ideas that we could probably allow in the client to do.
Well, I see some developers talking already up here on Twitter. We've got @debugger, one of the questions. What parts? Excuse me?
That's the same question as what's fixed in the app, right?
Yes, we've got that one there.
Was
Cool.
that you?
Is that you? He's tweeting from the audience. We're very technical here. We have another gentleman in the audience.
Let's do one more question.
Do you want to show the phone app real quick as we take the other question?
Yes, let's get this gentleman here his question first, since he's got the mic, and then we'll flip over to the phone app.
So hopefully real quick before the phone app. I know you recently did something with Seesmic Look and some advertisers like Red Bull and Summit on the Summit. What's your distribution strategy with this? Are you going to let everybody or anybody distribute it, kind of with their own branding and plugins, or are you going to control that?
We are. So the question was about how open will we be about distribution. We hope to be as open as possible, and you're right. On Look, we have channels in there. And we have already partners such as Red Bull and such as Kodak or the Huffington Post actually integrating their own channel and also helping in distribution. Same here, we were actually talking with Marco. This is why we made the graphics design also flexible. What I'd like is to see if there is let's take the New York Times app, I'm just saying. And you get a specific version of Seesmic which has all the branding from the New York Times, and then the plugins which give you the New York Times, content. Right. And so that's exactly what we would like. It's our distribution, basically. Are you from the New York Times?
Microsoft, actually. So would that actually work as, the PC, Mac, and phone version? Like the New York Times example, would that actually work across all?
Well, it will work on Windows and Mac. And for the phone, it's not as flexible yet because we're just, experimenting with Windows Phone. But you want to match it to
show us the Windows Phone application so you can address that.
So here I'm showing the home timeline. As you can see, I can swipe to scroll in my timeline.
Can you center it, Mathieu? Can you center
sure.
And resize it maybe? No?
This is using the emulator.
That's good. That's good.
So here I'm going to tap on one of the tweets I posted, and as you can see, there is a picture attached to the tweet and view of that picture directly in the tweet. And so it works with picture, but it also works with videos and location. So as Marco showed on the desktop, you can display a Bing map control directly under the tweet, and we'll be able to do the exact same thing on the phone. So let me tap on my profile, and it's going to load the bio, the tweets, and you can see the background change to the...
I don't know if you can see very well, but this is...
The background is the background. I set it up as my
So it's
Twitter
your Twitter
profile.
background that loads.
Oh, okay. So that's the Twitter background back there.
So it changes for all users.
It's personalized.
Very cool. You can't see very well on the screen, but on the phone it looks really great.
Right. That's excellent.
So here I can see my replies, filter down, and see all the people that are talking about me on Twitter. And here nearby, again, it's a Bing map control that is going to load, and it's going to show us all the tweets that are around you right now. So the green pinpoint is us right now, and all the orange ones are all the people tweeting around. So if I'm tapping on this one, it's going to show that person's tweet. And again, I can switch to different tweets.
Just post a tweet to finish with?
Yeah, and so here I'm going to tap the compose button, and so I can type hello from Las Vegas.
Hello from Las Vegas.
And
Oh,
so
cool.
I click send, and you can see it's near Las Vegas. It detects my location, and it's going to add it next to my
Excellent.
tweet.
Well, we've got a couple other questions from Twitter. It seems to be hopping along here at Channel 9 Live. First one up there is from Dark Fur 93.
Nice.
There's a story behind that, I'm sure. Will Seesmic for Windows Phone be using basic auth or OAuth authentication protocol?
We will use on both actually.
Both.
So that's not just for the desktop, that's also for the phone. We'll use OAuth, but the desktop flavor of OAuth, which allows you to work with a password, but you don't need to store the password. So OAuth just doesn't work very well from the desktop, so Twitter came up with this alternative approach of like how you can use OAuth but still like make it nice on the desktop, so we'll use that.
Oh, excellent, excellent. We have some other questions here from, see if I can say this correctly, Ruiz Pinho. I'm sure I screwed that one up. Can I create a plugin to use COM access on Windows like text-to-speech?
In general, you can do anything you can do in Silverlight 4. So as Silverlight 4 does allow that on Windows, yes, that should be possible.
All right, so if you're going to use the Windows
Webcam,
API.
recording video, anything Silverlight can do.
This is an elevated application, elevated
Right.
trust application out of browser, so you could use any COM
That's right,
interface
yeah.
with meth.
Yeah.
Excellent. We've got one other question up there from David
Oh,
Packoid.
that's an easy one.
Does the switch to Silverlight mean Seesmic Desktop will only be available on Windows?
No, it's actually the opposite. Seesmic Desktop will be available on Windows and on Mac
Right.
with great performance, everything we've seen. And we've actually showed it real quickly this morning, but
Right.
it's running really well on the Mac.
And you showed
it's
it on
the
the Mac,
exact
right.
same code.
Exact same code, same product. You do one download.
Same plugins.
Same
So
plugin.
if you guys write a plugin, it will work both on Windows and Mac, which is a big, big plus.
Right, as long as that plugin was using something that's
Silverlight.
right. Using
And
Silverlight, using
obviously,
meth.
yeah, if you use COM, that won't work
Right,
on
if
Mac.
you use
but-
Windows COM
yes.
speech, it's only going to work
But
on Windows.
like if you stay within Silverlight 4, we'll run the same on Mac and Windows for the plugins.
Fantastic. And how did you feel the overall keynote reception was to your product?
Well, really, impressive. I mean, like 3,500 people. That were just seats, and then there were people standing up. So being on stage there was.
And it was streamed live, yes.
Yeah, I don't know how many people were watching live, but like many. And so we couldn't dream of a better launch, really. For us, it's been amazing. As I said, during the 6 minutes of the keynote, we got 200 developers signing up, probably more right now, and to get SDKs. So it felt amazing. Microsoft has been I can't even describe an awesome partner. We've been at PDC, we've been here. We realize how lucky we are, so we have to
Right.
crush it.
Well, that's really great. And again, I want to thank you guys for being here and answering all these questions on it. Do we have any other questions from the audience? You seem to have gathered a little more of a crowd here.
Yeah.
Not the time. Everybody's afraid of Elvis. I
Any
think.
questions? It's Elvis. It's all your fault, Elvis.
Don't be afraid; he doesn't bite. So cool. Well, that's great. And guys, this has been a great opportunity to take a look at this application. And this will be out as soon as WP7.
A
As soon
few
as Windows
weeks.
Phone 7 will be out. So.
And if you go to platform.seesmic.com, you can get in touch with us to start building plugins.
So if I wanted to start with this tonight and I download the application, the SDK, and the tools,
You can't yet, but
Yeah,
but
as
Marco
said.
stopped sleeping a while ago already too.
well, who needs sleep, right?
Nobody needs sleep.
Exactly. So as soon as Marco is ready, we'll be able to get to these guys.
That's right.
But
And
they
we'll-
can download the Windows tools
Yes.
for Visual Studio and start working
Of
with
course.
Windows Phone.
Yeah, so everything that you would need, like from the Microsoft side, like the Silverlight 4 RC is available since today. The Visual Studio stuff, the tools for Visual Studio, everything is available since today, as was announced by Scott in the keynote this morning. So yeah.
So one last question I've got for you guys, generally, your development experience through this process. I know you guys have had a product for a while in different iterations. You had Seesmic for Windows as well. What was it like going from Seesmic for Windows over to Seesmic Desktop from a development experience?
So that was really great because it was like we could reuse so much of the code that we had, and we got so many new opportunities using the Silverlight platform, especially running on Mac. So it just gave us this for free. On Windows, we have like everything we want to do. We have the same feature set that we could do with WPF before, and it's the same language. It's the same XAML for the UI part. So there was like almost no learning curve involved in like moving to Silverlight 4.
And is this
Really
all
great
C#
experience. The
and
tools
XAML?
it's all C#. It's
Yeah.
all XAML. The tools are great. Visual Studio. So yeah, really great.
I'm not a developer, but I'm using the emulator and I'm running it right now. and it's all XML, so I can understand a lot of the code, and so I can test the app and live and see what developers are building.
And that's excellent. And guys, I know we're a little bit out of time here now. I know we had a great time talking. I'd love to see some more offline too. Loic, you have some closing comments?
Quick thing. If you want to hang out with us, we booked a room at 5:30 tomorrow. It's just downstairs at the North Convention Center, which is downstairs here. It looks far away, but it's really downstairs, 5 minutes walk. And 5:30 to 8, drinks, and we'll talk some more about plugins. We'd love you to come on
Free
Tuesday
drinks,
tomorrow.
a party, Vegas. I think
yes,
you're going to have thousands of people there tomorrow.
Great, absolutely.
Excellent.
Trade Winds AB is the name of the room, but we'll post it on our Twitter account as well.
Excellent. Thank you guys for coming on. And
thank you, Jeff.
Thank you everybody for their time. Channel 9 live streaming. I think up next we've got the wrap up for today at MIX.